Hey, hi everyone, this is a short meta update with regards to Immortality. I know the Hidden Assets tournament is going on now, and I think it's a bit interesting to see like some of the developments that have occurred. We see player 1 winning a lot more. When I say a lot more, it's like by a few percentage points. So like in general, the win rates across like player 2, 3 and 4 are quite equal, like plus minus like maybe slightly below 25, so like 24 point something, right? But all the excess win share goes to player 1, and I'll talk a little bit about why I think this is happening. So what the current meta is now for player 1, right? Player 1 goes for smuggling first action. So the main reason they do this, right, is to prevent player 2 from going smuggle into swordmaster round 2. And with the limited amount of leaders that player 2 can do it, actually is not that many as well. So I'm not even sure if he's inclined to do that. But this is like the one of the best ways to block, and the other way to block is to just go some combination of full space just to deny player 2 like smuggle. But I still think smuggle is like probably the best opening that you can have as player 2. You get to play both experimentations or maybe experimentation ring, and then you get swordmaster round 2. Then you maybe can play your third like you can play maybe your ring to swordmaster or something. Like there are a lot of combinations that are good. So I think that is like what is good for player 2. So for player 1, what happens is that they block it a lot. So previously this was a purely blocking play, and there were no like the payoff for this is very bad. Like you get one freighter icon and one Solari, but normally you don't get to smuggle, because like let's say if player 2 goes full space, then player 3 round 2 round 3 smuggle, then after you only get to see the payoff round 4. However, if you notice a lot of games that that have been out, or maybe some of the games that I've casted also, like some things that we've been noticing or something that some players have been talking about is that why does smuggling come back around to player 1? I think this is quite an interesting and quite a natural way that the meta has developed. So let's say, right, player 1 goes smuggle, round 1. Here he goes up to 1 Solari. Let me change my color to black so I can edit everything. I can't even, okay. Maybe I can just press this button. Okay, so now green, right? Green does something else, doesn't matter. And let's just flip open the combat. So there are various combats that you can get various things, and from position 3 and 4 you can like almost guarantee yourself some rewards. So let's say if this is a Solari opening, right? The other way that we talked about how the meta has moved is that there's a conspire line to get swordmaster, and this gets swordmaster very early, maybe round 2 round 3 depending on your leader. So what happens is that let's say round 1 this happens and this flips, right? And then let's say player 4 decides to go to the conspire route. So what's the conspire route? The conspire route is I haven't played Immortality in so long. Let's say this is the case. He needs to get 4 spies to conspire. So how does he do that? Like first action, he'll go to still suits. He gets water. He gets a water, and then he does something else. He makes sure that he gets at least second place in this, right? And then after that he kind of waits, or second or third place, right? And then after that he goes to conspire when round 2. So he goes to deep I was going to call it the deep desert, but it's the Great Flat, and then conspire round 2. So what generally happens, right, is that someone will ship down round 2. So let's just say, right, or round 2 or round 3, let's say so I'm going to change the order a little bit. So let's say if yellow gets so let's say green goes full space. So all he does is full space and interstellar. That's like his entire turns round 2, round 3. Let's just assume, right? So when player 3 comes around, right? Let's say this is round 2. Is there any way I can move this up? Yeah. And then so round 2 comes around, and then it's yellow's turn. Yellow can smuggle once, right? So he goes smuggle. He gets 1 Solari, and then when this all plays out, what happens is that blue, at the end of round 2, right, he's sitting at 7 Solari, right? So he's here and he's here. He's at 7 Solari, and he's waiting for someone to smuggle again for him to get 8 Solari to get swordmaster. So now what happens, right, is that let's say end of round 2, this is the Solari, assuming there's no additional Solari from combat, and that changes things as well. So let's say now round 3 happens, and round 3 yellow's the first player. Yellow can now go to smuggle again, right? So yellow goes smuggle, and ideally what happens, right, is that you want to take this line because round 3 you want to get swordmaster, right? Yellow really wants swordmaster round 3. So what happens is that he ends up like shipping down. Let's say he ships down, he gets up to 7, and let's say he went wealth like earlier, he said 9, right? What happens is that this dividend, right, gives everyone the Solari. Is that okay? Let's just try to yeah. So let's say I'm at 9, and then now blue, right, with his first action round 3, he is poised to swordmaster. So what happens is that yellow spends 2 actions to smuggle, and then he doesn't he's not able to get swordmaster. Alright. So can you see this how this plays out? So in essence, yellow, right, he never really wants to smuggle, because of what blue does, right? If he smuggles, he gets 9 Solari, but he never has position to get swordmaster from here on out. Let's say when it goes around 4, red will smuggle, and then red will get swordmaster, and then by this time green also has like went up and down, and then so in this case, right, yellow never gets swordmaster. So now we established that going smuggle is bad for yellow. What about so how does yellow counterplay that? So yellow counterplays that, right, actually by, let me just reload the mod again. Where to go first? Okay, doesn't work, but doesn't matter, right? So same scenario as just now, right? So let's say red is at 1 Solari, and then all green does, right, green still goes to shipping and some combination of this to get some compensation, and then what happens is that in third position, now what line do you take? You take the conspire line, right? So you force it, right? So you get up to 7, right? And you try to get you get up to like 7 or 8 depending on how, like, what combination of things that come out, and then you try very hard to let's see what the combat is. Same combat. So you try very hard to get up to 8 round 3, and then so you can swordmaster on directly round 3. So this entails like getting second place for this combat. So you need to comment like quite hard this combat. But at the same time not getting, maybe you can get first. Like I'm not too sure of the mechanics. Yeah. Then so yellow takes a conspire line. Okay, so if yellow takes a conspire line, then what about red? No, what about blue? Is it worth it for blue to spend 2 actions to smuggle? So now, right, let's say blue action 2, round 2, round 3, he spends 2 actions to get 7 Solari, but he gets Swordmaster what round? He gets Swordmaster round 4. And because this is very good when you're getting Swordmaster round 2, but when you're doing this to get Swordmaster round 4, right, this is super slow. Like it just doesn't pay off. Like sure you get Swordmaster, but at the cost of 2 bad actions, and yeah, you're just getting it round 4. It's too slow for the table, right? And because of that, right, what happens is that now we know that, hey, red goes to smuggle, yellow doesn't want to smuggle, blue doesn't want to smuggle as well. So what happens? Round 2 comes around, so we're back to round 2, right? So let's say at end state, let's say for this combat, let's say yellow's at 3 Solari, and he's at 2 water because he went still suits. Now this is the scenario, right? What happens is that yellow just like yeah, so yellow's trying to get conspire, so he's trying to go deep desert, or he's trying to go great flat into conspire. Then and let's just assume this player is going full space because this is what's being blocked to him, because like smuggle for player 2 is the best. So let's say this is what happens, right? Blue doesn't want to smuggle, red gets round 1, round 2 smuggle, right? And I think that is insane. Right? Like we said, player 2 getting it is bad, then now player 1 gets it. And I think this is something that players are figuring out, because it's not good for anyone else to get it, and it's especially not good because there's a conspire line. So because of the conspire line opening, right, and it's killing off player 3's momentum to get smuggle, now player 4 doesn't want it, then player 1 gets smuggle, and there are so many worlds, right, where player 1 can smuggle and hit wealth somehow and get Swordmaster round 2. I don't think you'll see this in a ton of games, but I do see this happening a lot more. And you will see people get in position 2 and 3 get eaten up when they go to smuggle. Go to smuggle, then whoever goes conspire will kill their momentum entirely. So then after that, player 1 benefits because player 1 gets to smuggle into Swordmaster round 2. I think that's insane. First player, and it is just some cascading action. It's not always the case, but most of the time it's like that. Most of the time, player 3 wants, like, if player 3 doesn't get Swordmaster round 3, he almost never gets it, and so he's working very hard to get this line, right? I think green, right, or like player 2 is like the biggest wildcard in this. A lot of times, maybe if you don't want this compensation, you can consider some other compensations, like maybe the combat or some text, right? So player 2 is probably the wildcard in this. But to count on player 4 to defend something like this is really quite hard. I think a lot of times player 4 will just kind of want to do their own thing. Maybe they're Tessa or Ilvan and they're just going to wealth and they are just considering some like main tech options. And so this is where I think the meta is at the moment, and this is my meta update. And so currently position 1 is doing well. I think if you remove the times when they're picking Tessia or Ilban, this is another thing I need to talk about, but this video is going on for too long already. I'll talk about this at some other time. Like player 1 getting Tessia Ilban is like is a sin for the table, like clear 3 and 4, like throwing the game. And this is just backed up by stats. These two leaders should never go to player 1. And yeah, I think in my next video I'll be talking about a little bit about ranked and some of the things I wanted to do with it, and some things that didn't work out as intended, and how I want to move things onward from here on out, especially with Uprising, and also giving Imo as an evergreen state in a state that's interesting for people to play as well. Maybe talk about balance. Yeah, but that's all for another time. So thank you for watching this meta update, and thank you for watching this kind of vlog. I hope it was interesting to you, and I'll see you around. Okay, postscript, I realized I covered yellow Solari because of my face. Yeah, but the ideas are all there. The yellow's just trying to get 8 Solari by round 3, and the most consistent way to do it is conspire. Okay, anyway, thanks guys, I'll see you around.